I welcome you one and all to the series. Chapter 34 of the book of Genesis is our passage for the reflection. It narrates the rape of Dinah, daughter of Jacob, by Sheikham, the local prince of the town of Sheikham in Canaan, and the consequences. The theme is beware of lust in the family. My goal is to use this story to draw our attention to sexual abuse in the society and how we all suffer when unchecked. Lust is that inordinate desire which renders reason captive. Once it is given the chance, nothing makes sense until gratification has taken place. This is exactly the story of Sheikham in our passage. The text says, when he saw Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, he seized her and raped her. Sheikham, we can say, has no self-control over his sexual urges. Once he felt attracted to a person, he must have her at all cost. Here was someone he did not know, but because he had seen her and she was attractive, he raped her. A very sad story indeed. Can we imagine the number of times our emotions have gone ahead of reason? The question is, what did the parents of Sheikham do to their son when he defiled someone's daughter? Unfortunately, there is no record of the parents' rebuke of their son. How different is that from some of us today? When, for instance, our son or our brother defiles a domestic staff, and we are a bit indifferent or passive about the plight of the victim. At times, we even become protective of our son or our brother. But when the same thing is done to our daughter or our sister, we move heaven and hell to ensure that the law takes its course. What is good for the goose is equally good for the gander. We have the task to protect the vulnerable in society. The story continues by saying that Sheikham loved Dinah and wanted to marry her. The question is, if that is the case, that he loved her, why didn't he exercise just a bit of restraint? By raping her meant that he had already defiled her, and this brought pain and anger to Jacob and his family. Sheikham, nonetheless, told his father Hamon about his love for Dinah and wanted to marry her. The father went to ask for her hand in marriage. But what did the brothers of Dinah do? Later, the brothers destroyed all the men of the town and took their little children and wives as captives. What are some of the lessons we wish to learn from this story? 1. Delay gratification. There's a need for constant teaching and learning about how to delay gratification. When, for instance, children want something, parents can hold on until a later time. By so doing, they are teaching the children how to develop self-control. It is true that Sheikham loved Dinah, but because he could not delay his desires or exercise just a bit of self-control, he lost the opportunity to marry Dinah. Whenever lust goes ahead of love, it destroys it. 2. Permissive parenting styles. There was no information about the father of Sheikham rebuking the son for what he did wrong. Permissive parenting styles do not in any way help children to become responsible. When children do the wrong thing, they need correction. And parents have this task. As scripture says, spare the rod and spoil the child. Again, it must be noted that parents who fail to correct their children when they are young will weep for them when they grow up. From the text, Hamon, the father of Sheikham, was killed together with the son because of the rape. When we fail as parents, we suffer with the children. 3. The whole family of Sheikham and the town were destroyed because of this single evil act of Sheikham. The point here is that society itself suffers when people behave irresponsibly. With this in mind, it is important that we do not condone that which is wrong in the family or in the society. When a family member does the wrong thing and we sit on the fence, one day we may all suffer with the person. To avoid this, we owe it as a duty to be active in the formation process of the young in society. But we must not limit the formation process only to our children or only to our small families. But we must extend it to the larger family, the larger society for that matter. This is because if, for instance, we focus only on our small family and ignore the bigger society, the deviant child from there, the bigger society, can one day defile our well-brought-up girl. To conclude, the story of Sheikham raping Dinah should serve as a clarion call to all, for us to see the need for self-control and to teach the children the need to delay gratification. It is not everything that children want that they must get. This is the beginning of self-control. However, if we do not want to hear our children cry, and for that matter, give them everything they want, then we may one day cry when they grow up. Defiling of the vulnerable in society is real. We must all be on the watch to prevent it. If not, we suffer the consequences. On this note, let us all beware of lust in the family. God bless you.